So, as you say, there's a whole kind of wave of research recently on gratitude and appreciation, and lots of people beginning to write things like gratitude journals and things like that, which we should do, and we should do because often we miss the obvious good stuff, and we're tuned into the bad stuff, which that becomes your world. Then you miss the nice stuff, and we focus on the stuff that makes life seem a bit more troublesome. So I came across this Japanese practice a while ago, which is a kind of Zen practice called Naikan, which sounded interesting, and it's something I now teach on one of my courses. And it's basically the practice of daily self-reflection. So with mindfulness, we're trying to live in the present moment, not in our stories. We're trying to, maybe when we're meditating, sit with a clear, calm mind. But with the Naikan, what we're doing is we're kind of reflecting on each day, for instance, and looking back and answering 3 basic questions, okay, on purpose. And this wasn't just done by Zen monks. This was done by Benjamin Franklin, Albert Schweitzer, famous scientists and presidents, self-reflection. So I thought I'd just ask you the questions.
Okay.
And maybe at home you can ask each other or just reflect for yourself. So it's just 3 questions. And ideally you'd spend maybe 10, 20 minutes at the end of each day just kind of listing the answers. So the first question in Naikan practice is, what have I received today? So what have you received? Have you been given something? And so we would think about, okay, well, what have I received? And what we tend to do is miss the obvious stuff. Like right now, you are receiving life because you're breathing. So you're receiving your next breath. What do you have to do to make your next breath happen? Well, it's given.
Nothing, yeah.
Are you sick today, Christy? Are you in ill health?
No, I feel relatively chipper.
So you have a day of health?
Mm-hmm.
We don't appreciate that. It's too obvious. We complain about the day when we wake up with a sore throat, but today we have a day of health. So if you're having a day of health, appreciate that. Maybe you're having an easy day when nothing's gone tragically wrong. Well, that's great. Appreciate that. Of course, we only seem to notice when things go badly wrong. So that's the first question, is what have I received today? Did someone give me something? Did someone open a door for me? The other day, someone gave me a biscuit with my coffee. I didn't ask for that biscuit. It's the details. It's the details where I realise that I am being looked after, not just by people, but by life, moment after moment after moment.
I'm going to give a special shout out to our Ben downstairs, who today shared his rhubarb muffin with me.
There you go.
So there you go. That's my receipt for today.
That's it. That's the receipt. And then so we move on to the next question, which is, what have I given today? So again, what have you given? Did you hold a door open? If you had the muffin, did you share it? Were you courteous to someone when you were driving, etc., etc., etc.? What have you given? Did you give some money for something? Did you smile? Did you give someone your time? So not only are we aware of what we're receiving, on a daily basis, but we're also aware of our value and worth as a receiver and a giver. What am I giving out on a daily basis? How is that affecting the world and other people? So what have I given? So some days what you receive might seem quite profound. Breath and life and sunshine and a day of health and etc. And if you've been very kind that day, again, your list for giving might be quite incredible, and you might think, wow, I'm a fantastic human being, until we get to the third question. And the third question is the most important and the most uncomfortable, which is, what trouble or difficulties have I caused today? Now, generally we say, well, none. It's not my fault. It's your fault. His fault. Their fault. Well, that's called being a blind spot. That means we're not aware of ourselves. We have a self-image in our head. Here's how I am. Now, that's just a version in our own head that is extremely fragile, because out of 8 billion people on Earth right now, you can't see yourself. All those other people can see you, but we can't see ourselves. In Back to the Future 2, where he goes back in time to the 50s and sees himself in the 50s.
Yes.
And he can watch himself playing on stage.
Uh-huh.
Now, that's cool. But if we could do that, that would be a great Naikan practice, because maybe you'd follow yourself around for one day. seeing, are you such a great person? Are you a bit rude? Are you courteous? Are you short with people? We can't do that because we are our own blind spot. So that's why things like criticism and feedback are useful, because other people see you in completely different ways. So that final question, what difficulties have I caused? It's that kind of honest self-reflection. Yes, I was a bit rude. I didn't give that person the time of the day. I forced my way through that in that traffic, where we realise that, okay, we can fail. And that practice makes us very humble. But it's not about, how terrible I am, because then you come back round to the first question again. What have I received? Even if I was mean, even if I was discourteous, even if I was rude, I get to take my next breath. The sun shines on me. I have food waiting for me. So it's a lovely practice that just wakes you up again to your life and the way that you're supported.
Mm-hmm. And also, it would make everyone's lives a lot easier if we all did this approach every single day, approach life in this way, because just everyone would be a bit nicer to each other, wouldn't they?
Yeah. It's like a life edit that you do every day. I can certainly think of some politicians that would probably benefit from doing that.